And the topic for today's theory: Rock pays Krystal to leave Kanan, and Jukebox finds out and kills Krystal for leaving Kanan. Rock possibly tells Jukebox that she paid Krystal off. Okay? This is going to be a doozy, but this is also something that's very believable, okay? This is something that after what we've seen from Jukebox at the end of episode 4 is very likely, okay? Especially since we know she still don't like Krystal like that. And Krystal mistakenly gave Jukebox a slight reason to still not trust her. This video is going to be another doozy. It's going to be another banger. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new here. Without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, now y'all, let's break it down like this. We seen the first meetup between Krystal and Raquel Thomas. We know that Krystal's attitude towards Rock has to be based off of something that Kanan told her. Right? We also know that Krystal has her own issues that come from her home, which means she don't like her own mom, okay? So when she hears that Kanan been dealt wrong by his own mom, she immediately will take Kanan's side. We know that she didn't show any initial fears against Rock. Their initial encounter was all based off animosity, right? We know, of course, that Rock does not like Krystal and told her, hey, I'm going to be seeing you again, bitch. But now we have to ask ourselves what that means and what are the ramifications of what she said. What potentially comes with what she said and how Jukebox will get herself involved in this. There will be a conversation that's had before Krystal goes missing that will be had between Rock and Jukebox, where Rock is going to express how she don't like Krystal. She don't like how everything is going on, and she just so happens to start to get robbed and stuff like that. Around the time where Krystal comes around, and Krystal is around while Kanan got all this drug stuff going on. And then Jukebox is going to say, hey, I barely like the bitch anyway, right? She tried to get me jumped in the middle of Broadway Junction. She tried to have my face cut. I don't like her anyway, right? Off the strength of Kanan, I'm trying to accept her, but I don't like her, right? I almost beat her up in Kanan's house, okay? Speaking of which, Kanan lives at such and such, right? Which is information that Kanan feels like he wouldn't have to tell Jukebox, but Jukebox is going to tell Rock, okay? They're going to have this conversation. And then in the middle of this conversation, Rock is going to be like, so what do you really think her intentions are? Do you think she has anything to do with the robberies and things like that? Jukebox is going to say no, right? But Jukebox somehow, some way is going to reveal to Rock that she said something very suspicious, and it made her seem like she's looking for a come up. Okay, now, this particular scenario, okay, once Jukebox says this to Rock, Rock is going to be like, okay, what you mean? Jukebox is going to be like, well, she had some trouble at home. And now she's talked Kanan into buying a new place. Kanan's bought a new place, and they seem to be building up some kind of life, and maybe she'll be privy to the information that Krystal got pregnant and had to get an abortion. Things like that. And here lies where Rock can intervene, okay? Once Rock knows that some kind of foul stuff happened to Krystal in her home, she may do some research to find out who Krystal's folks are. She may do a little bit of that. But eventually, being that she's not going to want to kill a girl that Kanan loves, she will find a situation where she's going to have a talk with Krystal, and Krystal is going to tell Rock exactly what she told Kanan, as Rock is going to approach her like someone who understands, okay? And what we may find out in regards to how Rock gets Krystal to leave, she could say, okay, you've been touched on growing up, so was I. Whether it's the truth or not, right? Maybe it really did happen to Rock, maybe not. She'd be like, yeah, I hated my mother for that. I can understand how you feel, right? When we get into the feels and the feelings of things, this is where things go left, right? And then we'll have Rock say, but is this the best that you wanted for yourself? You think the best you could do is just settling with my son who's a drug dealer, who's never going to be faithful to you, when you could be in a better position than this? And Krystal's going to be like, what better position? Kanan is all I have. When she says something like that in Rock's head, it's going to be, oh yeah, she really is just looking for a come up, right? She may love Kanan, she may like Kanan, but she really is just looking for a come up. This is when Rock will pull out, right, a manila envelope with 20 to 50 bands. She's going to say here, you take this money, you could go live and be whoever you want to be. You would take this money, pay for your first year in college somewhere. You could take this money, move to LA and pursue a music career, anything of the sort. And you know what's going to happen? Krystal's going to take that money and she's going to spend. And the stipulations of this contract that they're going to have is that you don't tell Kanan nothing. You just leave. You get the fuck out of Dodge. Krystal's going to take that money. Okay? Kanan's going to be very hurt behind this. Very hurt behind this. Jukebox will find out through Rock, okay, that she sent Krystal away. Maybe even knowing where they're going. Maybe even knowing where Krystal is going, okay? Jukebox will then find Krystal wherever she's at, and they're going to have a conversation, okay? Jukebox is going to say, hey, bitch, I knew you was just looking for a come up. How dare you do this to my brother? How dare you do this to Kanan? And Krystal, while after receiving the money, may say, you know what, bitch? I don't care. I want to live my life the way I want. I don't want to just settle for a drug dealer. I want to be in charge of my own life. Right? I don't care about nothing. Jukebox is going to say, okay, you betrayed me, I'll let you rock. But now you betrayed my family. Jukebox is liable to kill Krystal, take the money, take it back to Kanan at some point and say, yo, this is what happened. Or if not, she kills Krystal and she keeps the secret. The secret is kept between her and Rock. Rock is going to be like, I wanted the bitch gone either way. I understand you did this. It's cool. Secret safe with me. Leaving the opportunity for Kanan to find out about this in the future. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's gotta get that. That's touch my ink. That's on the dome, nigga.